Well, starting off our Sunrise Smart Start with some breaking news as a man has been hospitalized after being shot on Lake Avenue. Yeah, this is Lake near Phelps Avenue. A live view from that scene now. Part of the area still blocked off with RPD on scene. The shooting around 5:15 this morning near the Twin Beaches apartment complex. Police tell us that victim in his 40s is expected to live. His injuries are considered serious, though. No arrests have been made. If you have any leads on that shooting again on Lake Avenue around 5:15 this morning, please call 911. In further breaking news, a man is in critical condition at the hospital after a shooting in Rochester. Police tell us that this happened with the victim in his 30s being shot around midnight about Mohawk Street, and then he was able to make his way to Portland Avenue where officers were able to spot him and get him help. He's now in stable condition, but there are no suspects in custody. Another scene we were at, a rollover on Bay Street. That was just before 11. We're told the driver in a van was backing up when a sedan sideswiped that van. The driver in the car lost control, and that is how it ended up flipped. No one was injured and no tickets were issued. In further breaking news overnight, we're working to get more updates about a fire in Rochester. The calls to this home on Ravine Avenue came in around 10:30 last night. No word yet on any injuries or the cause of this fire. Of course, this and all of our breaking headlines remain under investigation. So as they are updated and new developments come out, stay with us here on News 8 on air, and as well as on our website, rochesterfirst.com, for the latest information. Another shooting, 2 people wounded at a Greece home, hospitalized with serious injuries after a fight between 2 groups of teens. This was yesterday afternoon, just before 3 on Britton Road. Police say during the fight, there was gunfire and the shots went into a home. Inside, a 35-year-old woman and a man, 38 years old, were both hit. Both victims are critical, is what we're told, but stable after surgery. There are no arrests announced yet in that case. Deputies in Livingston County still looking for answers following the death of an 8-month-old child in Canisius over the weekend. Deputies responded to Railroad Street Saturday morning around 8:30, and when they got there, they say that baby was already dead. So far, there are no arrests or other further information that has been made available, so stay with News 8 for updates. The DA reviewing Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Dorley's case has been announced. At Dorley's request, William Fitzpatrick, the lead prosecutor in Onondaga County, will be handling this. All of this comes after the body cam video came out showing Dorley arguing with an officer who tried to pull over for speeding last week, going 55 and a 35. So we went out to hear from a local defense attorney offering some insight on how police departments such as Webster, where this happened, can use discretion in certain stops.
You know, for example, in a traffic situation, we've all been pulled over, familiar experience, right? And there are times when a police officer can go back to his vehicle and access his database on his in-car computer, sees there's no criminal record, no traffic record, it's a one-off thing, and they give you a warning. That's a good example of an officer using discretion.
As for the body cam video fallout, he says it's helpful context, but just because we see that moment in time doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the full picture. Happening tomorrow, state police and authorities in Wayne County say they'll share more details about this 1991 disappearance of Judith Guerin. She would have been 79 years old, but hasn't been seen since February 20th, 1991 in Sodus, with all of her belongings left behind. Authorities say that she hasn't made contact with anyone ever since that day, and a press conference is scheduled for Friday morning at 9 a.m. We'll have those details available here on News 8 on air and on rochesterfirst.com. Protests against the war in Gaza, they've been going on college campuses all over our nation, and some of those protests made their way here to the U of R, though they did come to a peaceful resolution. Ron Spitzer is here in studio with the latest on what happened and the next steps after the protesters ended the occupation of a campus building that reopens this morning. Ron.
Yes, that day-long occupation of Wallace Hall ended around 6:30 yesterday after administrators and those protesting held talks. The university said there would be more information on that soon. A student leader that was in the meeting said that in next week's faculty meeting on Tuesday, students will be allowed to explain why there should be academic divestment from Israel and explain their other demands. We spoke with students involved, and an Israeli-American student explains why he feels that these demands from protesters are unjust.
I think it's perpetuating a pretty anti-Semitic and I would consider racist rhetoric, just the idea that we can't have any connections to a country, to a group of people because of their national origin. I find it very hurtful, and I think that it's perpetuating this very horrible ideology for the same reason why it would be inappropriate for me or any other student to recommend that we disconnect from any other country or group of people. It's inappropriate to do this.
Student leaders at the meeting say the administration decided that all the students participating in the sit-in will not face any consequences for that action. For more reaction, head to our website, rochesterfirst.com. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Aran. Well, you know, we mentioned those protests on other college campuses. Some Cornell students now have issued their own demand, wanting to bargain with school leaders about the suspension of 2 graduate workers. The group says that these 2 were part of a peaceful protest against the war in Gaza and argue that if the suspensions remain intact, it could affect these people's visa statuses, which could then result in deportation.
In just a few hours, faith leaders will join elected officials, including the mayor and other community members, to recognize what is today National Day of Prayer. It falls on the first Thursday of May each year. Organizers with this are hoping to bring change to the community as we continue to see so much violence. They say this is a chance for people to get together to build more relationships. The regional gathering will be right there on the front steps of City Hall downtown. That's at 10:30. Your sunrise traffic here at 6:54 around the main expressways, 394, 95. 590. Not seeing any accidents there, but over near the airport, there's a crash just reported the last 5 minutes or so. Chile Avenue at Route 204. Another one on the west side, Lyle Avenue and Whitney Street. We'll check that morning drive again in about 30 minutes.
A state law designed to protect young athletes is now officially in effect. Signed into law back in last November, this now requires all camps and youth sports programs to establish a plan to provide AEDs and also ensure that every program has at least one qualified adult on scene who can successfully complete a training course for using these life-saving devices. The legislation was pushed through after Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field after going into cardiac arrest. There's a lot to do, and this weather, James, is really encouraging us not to just sit inside our houses today. It's not the day for it.
That's right. It's tough even when you see all that sunshine. You want to get out there and enjoy it. Mid-60s, right on average, right on par for you today with temperatures hanging out there. Staying down into the 50s tonight. And then a good warm-up tomorrow, 75. That might be too low. I might have to push that number up. We could be upper 70s. And then the rain moves in. Does look like Saturday. We've got showers, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms. Kind of a wet start to the weekend. But Sunday will dry out.
Always on the weekend. Saturday. Thank you, James. And thank you for spending this Thursday morning with us here at Sunrise. We'll see you back here in 30.
And stay tuned for CBS Mornings up next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.